Manchester United 0, Man City 3 in the derby. So bad. Come in a little bit. So bad. There's a big inquest. Everyone's feeling down. Everyone's got their own reasons as to why things are so bad. How much of that were City are just that good and we're that bad, and how much of it is more than that?
I mean, City are world class. Obviously, they're Premier League champions, European champions. They're a top class team. But at the end of the day, I think you can't deny that our players just don't last the game of trying hard, it looks like, from the outside at least. And that's what I can't stand as a fan, is that when I'm seeing players not going for that ball, not trying for that pass, not opening themselves up to like make an opportunity even, or just giving up, that's what hurts me as a United fan. So I think it's obviously City are absolutely amazing, but I just think that, yeah, it didn't look like we were on it.
So for you, is it like the manner of the defeat, basically?
Yeah, because I think I can accept losing, especially when you play such good quality players and you're not always going to be the best, but it's just the effort of that's been put in, and if it's not 100% all game isn't possible, I get that, but it's just even like 80%, and I think a lot of people drop off to 30% or walking around and not getting back on side and not challenging for the ball, and it just they look stupid. They look like you're in the Premier League, you're being paid top dollar to play for United, and a lot of the crowd, you look around, they're all like, give me a shirt, I'll jump on, I'll give like more effort than what you're doing. So that's how it feels to me.
Lack of effort, lack of desire, is what's been spoken about a lot. How much of us is what we're doing as well is a lack of idea, a lack of application, a lack of not having a clue as well, on top of everything we've just talked about there.
Yeah, look, I mean, you say on the first question in terms of, are City that good? I have to say, I don't think Wolves thought that they were that good. There's a whole bunch of teams that have got at City because you can make a game of it. And in that first half, we had some ball recoveries. You have a moment to transition. We want to play transition football. No transitions. Let's just go backwards. So in terms of the lack of effort, it's mystifying. Honestly, it's mystifying. Last season, I think Ten Hag really had that connection between the fans and the team because he built a spine. There was a real fight. We were down and out against like Brentford, 4-0 down. Everyone's like, this is over. And you have that game against Liverpool where you start to see something. You start to see some spine. And it's like we've lost all our spine, and now we're just thinking about, I don't know what we're thinking about, because on the ball, it's like 5 touches for the centre backs, side to side, not knowing where to go. I don't know what it is, but you saw the contrast today. One team is completely passive and just focused on the ball, and everybody else just stays in their position. Whereas City are completely proactive. When it comes to a loose ball or one of their players makes a loose touch, Bernardo Silva, Walker, all these guys are running in to go and make sure there's an option there. I actually believe this team can play better than what they are playing, but right now, it's really hard to see.
Some people today have, spoke about Erik Ten Hag a lot today. The lack of progress and the lack of, identity and the way we're playing football. How do you view Erik Ten Hag and where we are in this now, and how much of, not to blame, how much of is he to blame for this?
A few of us were talking about it just now, right? I think before the international break, we had this really bad start of the season, but he had a lot of credit in the bank from last season, and because of what we said, he was building a bit of an identity, right? A bit of a fight. I think the problem now is that he's relying on players. People talk about his favourites and stuff like that. You talk about Bruno, you talk about Rashford. We saw it today. There was a moment when he took off Højlund, who was the only player pretty much winning any duels in our front three, and he kept Rashford on. And it's like, well, if you're just looking about it from a football perspective, people like Rashford, they're not producing anything. He doesn't deserve to be on the pitch. And to be honest with you, I think Ten Hag needs to regain himself. He needs to drop his captain, because his captain is garbage at the moment. He's doing absolutely nothing. I love Bruno, don't get me wrong, I love him, okay, but he's not performing at all. So you need to change his players out, but you know what? We've had all these bloody injuries, so he's been stuck in a bit of a cul-de-sac, but now I'm fearful of him. I really, really worry. I think people like Rashford and Bruno, honestly, when the going gets tough, these players can sack you. And we've seen that before, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sit here complaining about players, but everyone sees it.
Yeah.
Everyone sees it.
How do you feel about Eric and what he needs to do to get out of this rut? Because a lot of people are saying, start dropping your favourites, change it up. go back to basics, do something, because you will lose your job if you carry on like this.
I mean, yeah, I think some of the decisions today were questionable. Hoyland coming off, unless obviously there's things behind the scenes that we don't know about. That is that reason. But from an outside point of view, looking at it, he was the most positive player on the pitch today. But at the end of the day, I have to say is you look at his bench and the options he's got. Yes, he's got Anthony, who he's brought in as his man, sat on the bench, and he doesn't bring him on till right near the end of the game. But there's not actually that much going on. If he's not trusting Garnacho as well to come on sooner.
Mason Mount obviously came on at half time, but recently hasn't been starting.
And to be honest, when he came on, I'm not going to lie, wasn't on it. So I think he's got a hard job, but at the end of the day, unless something's all happening in training that we don't see, and then it turns up on the Sunday and they're not doing what he's told them, it doesn't look great to me. It just doesn't look like he's motivating them or inspiring them even to change the game. And it looks like slow, like the decisions he's making. So yeah, I'm a bit today. I think I wish he would hold his hands up and maybe not talk about the penalty as much and be a bit more like, look, I made some bad decisions.
Did he do that? Did he speak about it?
He spoke about the penalty, yes, and I think they asked him about his decisions for that, whether substitution at half-time taking Amberat off was wrong, and he said he didn't want to say it was a wrong decision in hindsight. So to me, I would have thought should have been like, yeah, maybe, but he didn't do, so that disappointed me a little bit.
There you go, guys. Thanks for talking to us both, guys. Really appreciate that.
Cheers.